I had a friend that worked in the Treasury Department back when I was in the Air Force, and he worked in the counterfeit department. Of course, those are the people that find counterfeit money and expose it, get rid of it, and of course, do investigations to try to find out who's making it. And he said something to me very interesting. He said that, and I thought, oh, you must spend a lot of time with counterfeit currency. He said, not so much, because the way they train themselves to understand and know and get used to real currency. Well, let me rephrase that. The way they teach themselves to identify counterfeit currency is to handle the genuine thing so much. So they don't learn how to, they don't handle a lot of counterfeit to learn how to notice counterfeit and discover counterfeit. They handle a lot of the true, real money in order to be able to more easily and more readily identify counterfeit money. So I found that very, very interesting. Good morning, Catherine. Nice to see you again. I found that very interesting, very fascinating. And I'm reading this book again. One of the books I'm reading, Soar with Your Strengths, and they make an interesting statement in here. There's a thought that success is the opposite of failure, and they make the statement that studying broken homes will not lead to information on building strong families. Studying why people use drugs will not lead to an understanding of the conditions under which some say no to drugs. Studying why people leave companies will not tell managers why people stay. Studying why kids fail at math will not explain why some students excel at math. And religion has always taken this back-asswards approach as well. They think that they can get people saved by talking to them about sin. They think they can get people to be better people by talking to them about all the ways to be bad people. Religion has somehow figured out in their minds, thinking that the more we talk about sin, the more we identify sin, the more we warn about sin, the more we preach about sin, the easier it'll be to get people to live right. That's pretty good coffee, and that's just a stupid way to look at things. It is completely back-assward. And I think even in our genre, we sometimes spend too much time worrying about the bad, worrying about the sad, worrying about the doom, worrying about the gloom, thinking that somehow that's going to help everything come out all right in the end. What if we flip that paradigm completely? What if instead of worrying about the sin, quote unquote, we worried about the salvation, quote unquote? I remember Jimmy Swaggart once told me, and he was talking about this in reference to the Bible college that they had for a long time. He said, the best way to get kids to start doing something is to make a rule against it. Think about that. The best way to get kids to start doing something is to make a rule against it. There's something about human nature that almost naturally rebels and almost naturally says, ooh, if that's bad, then I better try it. So maybe it's time to do things a little bit differently than we've always done them. And if we do them a little bit differently than we've always done them, we might get some results different from the results that we've always got. And in our case, and in the case of trying to help people grow their spirituality and become better people, become more spiritual people, it certainly would be good to change the results that we're getting. Because right now, we're not getting the kind of results we want on a societal basis. We're not even getting the kind of results we want within our own circles. So let's stop. If you're a Christian or if you lean towards that type of thought, stop focusing on this sin and start focusing on what you want to be. Instead of don't focus on what you don't want to be, focus on what you do want to be. Stop focusing on the sin, because focusing on sin is not going to bring you salvation, cousin. Focusing on wrong is not going to get you right, cousin. Focusing on right is going to get you right. Catching yourself doing something right is what's going to get you on the path that you want to get onto. Trust me, it's the truth. So stop focusing on the sin thinking it's going to bring you salvation. Stop focusing on the wrong to think that it's going to get you right. Catch yourself doing something right today. Catch yourself doing something good today. And if you start to focus on what's wrong, turn it around, find something that's right, and focus on that. And I think, and I didn't even think about this, but let me leave you with something. Let me leave you with something. Let me leave you with something. I forgot all about this, but it'll help you. Somebody's preaching my message. Let me give you King James, because I know some of you really need the King James. You ready? Finally, cousins, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. I'm Jeffrey Darty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge. We're the last generation of real humans. Let's start focusing on the good things. Let's start thinking on these things. And let's get busy.